Stop what you're doing right now. The recession is coming. The British are coming. The market is crashing. Every single investment you have is going to go down to zero, and the world is going to be a very dark place for a long time. We are going into the next dark ages. I'm just joking. But if you have spent too much time on the news and social media recently, you might think what I said is actually gonna happen. My name is Sam, and I own $40 million worth of real estate that I bought without using any of my own money. I also own a house buying company that is going to flip over 300 houses this year. And I've seen an interesting trend recently on the news and social media. People fear-mongering others into not investing in real estate because of a recession that is coming. So I thought the fact that I actively invest, don't just create content, I thought I would give you my 2 cents on what's actually happening for actual real estate investors. In 2008, there actually was a crash. So let's take a step back and talk about the conditions that led to that crash. There were a ton of subprime loans given out to people that could not afford the properties that they owned. There was also a lot of people that owned multiple houses. You could literally get a loan by writing down on a sheet of paper how much money you made. There was no verifications. So it was a mess. There was no guardrails, and there were a lot of houses out there. Today, there are a lot more rules and guardrails on the lending process. So all the loans, or most of the loans, are given to people that can actually afford them, and supply is so low. In 2008, there were a ton of houses out there. Now, there's not a ton of houses out there. Not everybody that invested lost money in 2008. Those that invested the right way and with the right banks made it through. Like my mentor, Brian. He made it through all of that. He bought a ton of properties from 2004 to 2007, and yet he is still an investor today because he bought good deals and had relationships with the right banks. I remember the first time I talked to our main bank we deal with, he said, I didn't call one note due from 2008 to 2011 for those that were making payments. And if you know what you're doing, you're gonna collect rent and still make payments. So even a crash of all crashes is not the end of the world if you know what you're doing. When I open my YouTube these days and look at my suggested videos, I'm greeted with some very, very scary thumbnails. There are houses on fire, piles of cash being burned, and more images that are designed to incite fear. I turn on the news and I get a very similar thing from quote unquote financial advisors on TV. It seems like everywhere we look these days, we are being told that there is a massive recession coming. I want to let you in on a little secret. The reason YouTube has all those fire images and those scary thumbnails is because they want you to click on the video. And they want you to click on the video because they get paid when you click on the video. A video showing that the world is ending and a video showing that everything's going to be fine, you're going to click on the video that shows that the world is ending. Whether it's ending or not doesn't matter to the people that are making the videos. All they care about is your click, because when you click, they get paid, and all they care about is getting paid. Most active investors that I know, including myself, are not worried about a crash. The economy may do one thing, but that doesn't mean that the real estate market's going to follow down that exact path. Is there going to be a dip? Is there going to be a fallback? Probably, but that's okay. There are a lot of opportunities to make a lot of money when the real estate market shifts, as long as you know what you're doing and as long as you follow the fundamentals. When the market shifts a little bit, you have more opportunities than you do when the market's ascending. Now let's take everything I just said and throw it out the window. Let's say that these fear mongers are right and this economic recession is going to turn into a real estate crash. Well, guess what? That does not guarantee that you're going to lose money. Real estate is extremely powerful, and there are a ton of different ways to make money and a ton of different ways to safeguard your investments. If you invest the right way, and if you look at real estate the right way, a real estate crash or recession or dip or whatever you want to call it is only a small hurdle in a long journey of building wealth. Good properties are good in any market. If you're buying right and you're a good investor and you're buying at 20 to 30% below market value minus repairs, then a recession or a dip is not going to affect you as much as it's going to affect the average investor that's buying at market price. So if you buy below market price and manage the property properly, a recession, a 5, even a 10% dip is not going to kill your rental portfolio. Don't get me wrong, an economic recession is not going to be fun, but real estate prices have never dipped in a 10-year period in history. So in 2007 to 2017, when there was the worst crash ever, prices were higher in 2017 than they were in 2007. From 1999 to 2009, where we saw the worst crash ever, house prices were still higher in 2009 than they were in 1999. So take any 10-year period and find housing prices that have dipped, I dare you. If you've been listening and thinking about what I've said, then you know there's no reason to sit on the sideline. Interest rates have gone up a little bit. They're gonna continue to go up and dip and go up. They're gonna fluctuate, but there's still opportunities to make great money. Shoot, back in the 1980s, interest rates were double and triple what they are now. They were almost 20%. And guess what? People still made money investing in real estate because you can always refinance once rates dip, and they may or may not dip, but you need to get out there, you need to be active. Supply is the biggest driving factor by far. If there are not enough houses out there for the people that are looking, it's simple math. The house prices will not dip enough to cause a crash. Will they pull back a little bit? Probably, but the fact that the supply is so low, there's always gonna be somebody in a good enough financial situation to pay a high price for that house. Now, if the supply catches up and the interest rates are high and other things happen, the market may dramatically fall a little bit more than I'm projecting, but right now we are nowhere near the supply needed for that to happen. Aside from the fact that no one can predict a crash, you're not gonna make money if it does crash, and I'm wrong, if you haven't started investing now. If the market does crash, bankers are gonna tighten their strings a little bit, lenders are gonna lend less, private lenders are gonna go away a little bit, wholesalers are only gonna sell to people that they've done business with before. So if a crash does happen, you're not gonna be able to take advantage of it unless you get your reps in now and build your relationships now, because guess what? Even in 2008, 2009, everybody loves to talk about that time frame, bankers still lend money to people. Private lenders still lent money to people. People still bought houses and made a lot of money, but it was the people that were successful before the crash. Nobody's gonna take a chance during a crazy crashing time unless they've already built a relationship with you, because there's always real estate investing deals to be had. So get your reps in now and start to build the relationship that you can lean on if the market does shift, and if it doesn't shift that much, you still have great relationships. Stop listening to those YouTube gurus who don't actually have a hand in the real estate investing space. This recession, this dip, is not some boogeyman to be scared of. It can present a lot of opportunities to start investing and to make a lot of money no matter what the market does. If you'd like more advice from someone who owns a lot of real estate and buys a lot of real estate, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video.